So I got involved in Northwest NWACUHO in kind of a fortuitous way. I was working as a hall director at Washington State University and got called in the director's office one day and wasn't really sure what was going on, and so I sat down and she said, "Boy, have I got an opportunity for you." And it turns out it was our turn to host the 2006 Northwest NWACUHO conference, and she wanted me to help coordinate that, and I hadn't ever been involved at that point with Northwest NWACUHO, so I was a little bit scared and trepidatious, but took it on and had a great experience.
I was involved with Northwest NWACUHO when I was at University of Washington to some degree, but it was really, I think, more when I came up to Western and started working with Kay Rich, who was very involved with the association, that I took on more of my leadership role. She was very encouraging to get involved in a leadership capacity.
Yeah, I must have got involved, and I think it was partly just because I opened my big mouth one time. And I think it was at a meeting, and I think we must have been talking about just kind of representation by region. And I think I had said, well, you know, it kind of feels like in some ways we're kind of more of an American-focused organization with Canadian members. And so, of course, that was the gauntlet. To say, well, then, you know what, if you got something to say, maybe you should get more involved.
Right.
And so I think that was really the onus for my involvement. And I think somebody had said, well, you know, would you be interested in running for a position? And, you know, sometimes I think it's just a matter of people needing a little bit of extra encouragement, or somebody saying, hey, you know, we could see you in that role. And so that's kind of what got me started.
I managed, because at that point, UVic, although it had been involved at Northwest NWACUHO, it hadn't really been involved there for quite some time. So I started doing a little research, and I found the organization. I'm not sure how I found it. I'm not sure if I got an email or soundings mailed or something like that, because we didn't have the internet, so we weren't searching online. But I managed to come across this association and, you know, convinced my boss at the time to allow me to attend. So I think it was 1992, the first conference I went to, and so I was going by myself as a Canadian. Didn't really know anybody. Didn't have any connections yet to the you know, this is like 2 months into the job. I didn't have any connection to the organization or to anybody else in the housing industry, either north or south of the border. I go to this conference and I'm kind of freaking out, and I'm young and I don't know anybody, and it's kind of uncomfortable, and I'm by nature an introvert anyway, and I'm a newbie and I don't have any confidence. So I walk into this room. It's kind of like the opening, it had food involved with it at the time, like an opening reception. And I'm almost ready to turn around and walk out. And the first two people I see, and I don't even know who these people are, the first two people I meet are Kay Rich from Western Washington and Jerry Cruz from Washington State. And I don't know what it was, whether they recognized the look in my eyes, whether they knew that somehow they had that sixth sense that they knew that I was freaking out. Basically came up to me and introduced themselves and asked me who I was and where I was from, and found out this was my first conference and invited me to sit down, and I got to tell you, like, I will take that moment with me to the grave. I will take it for the rest of my life. It was the pivotal, deciding moment in my career and in my assessment of the value of Northwest NWACUHO.